So here is my Unit 11 final evaluation. At the start of this unit, I already had an idea of the career I wanted to pursue, so the first task, the thoughts on my future, was relatively straightforward. However, as I progressed through the unit, through researching different university courses, apprenticeships, and entry-level job roles, I began to realise just how competitive and limited journalism apprenticeships actually are, especially within the Northwest region. This research was extremely valuable as it forced me to consider a wider range of progression routes. Although my ambition still leans towards securing an apprenticeship for the hands-on experience it offers, my perception of university has changed significantly. Attending open days, understanding courses on offer, and the strong employability links offered by several universities has shown that university may now be a highly effective and realistic pathway into sports journalism, particularly given the limited sport-specific apprenticeships. Completing the personality and skills profile quizzes on Unifrog was a valuable starting point as it enabled me to assess my strengths, weaknesses, and personality traits in a structured way. The results were particularly useful as they helped me to identify the skills I already had as well as the areas that required further development. This self-awareness strengthened my confidence and gave me a clearer understanding of how my attributes align with the demands of the journalism industry. Following this, conducting initial research into journalism roles significantly broadened my knowledge of the sector. I discovered a wide range of positions such as sub-editors, copy editors, and researchers that I had not previously considered. This process helped me to refine my initial career ideas and recognise which pathways are most suited to my strengths, interests, and long-term goals. Researching sports journalism career roles such as sports reporter, sports broadcast journalist, and sports editor was the most time-consuming, but also one of the most valuable stages of this unit. It required in-depth investigation into each job role's description, responsibilities, qualification, skills, and progression routes, which significantly deepened my understanding of what is expected in the industry. Watching interviews with professionals also gave me first-hand insight into the challenges, expectations, and daily routines involved, helping me to develop a more informed and realistic perspective on how to break into the field. Importantly, this stage highlighted the limited number of opportunities within sports journalism, especially in my region. As a result, I had to strengthen my research and problem-solving skills by conducting more thorough and targeted searches, which ultimately improved my ability to work more independently and adapt when facing challenges. Overall, this task was essential in shaping my understanding of the industry and guiding my future decisions. Updating my skills audit from Unit 3 was particularly valuable as it required me to reflect critically on the skills I have developed, acquired, and the additional skills I still need to gain. This process was highly relevant because it allowed me to clearly identify my current strengths and areas for improvement, giving me a realistic understanding of what I need to work on to succeed in the media industry. In relation to my aspirations in sports journalism, it highlighted the importance of continuing to develop my journalistic skills, which I am actively improving through my Manchester United sports blog. This ongoing project has helped me to refine my writing style, broaden my vocabulary, and increase my confidence in producing sports content. Similarly, updating my SWOT analysis was a useful task, as it allowed me to reassess my strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats with much greater accuracy. The most beneficial part was identifying the opportunities that are available to me, such as having access to college equipment, which I am using to expand my portfolio, and creating my own journalism website to showcase my work. These opportunities will play a crucial role in helping me to stand out in such a competitive industry. However, the SWOT analysis also highlighted the challenges I currently face, particularly the limited availability of work experience in the media sector. This shortage makes it more difficult to gain practical hands-on experience, which will impact my competitiveness in future job interviews. Recognising the threats within the industry, especially how competitive it is and how essential resilience is for freelancers, was equally important. Not every application will lead to success, and this task reminded me of the need to stay motivated and patient. Developing my own personal plan was one of the most important tasks in this unit, as it enabled me to structure my future goals in a clear and realistic way. By organising each step chronologically, from priorities to long-term ambitions, I was able to understand exactly what I need to do to progress into the journalism industry. I was reflecting on this task. I can already see the progress I have made, such as creating my CV, expanding my portfolio, and beginning the process of applying to universities and apprenticeships. The plan has shown me the value of setting achievable targets and reviewing them regularly to stay on track. Ultimately, this task has helped me to visualise how I can move from my current position as a student to eventually securing an entry-level job role within the industry. With continued hard work, skill development, and practical experience, I feel confident that I can follow the structured pathway I have created and move closer to achieving my long-term ambition of working in the sports journalism industry. Similarly, I believe that the university course research task was one of the most useful stages of this unit, as it significantly changed my perspective on higher education compared to how I felt at the beginning of the unit. Researching universities that specialise in sports journalism, particularly Salford, UCFB and UA92, helped me understand the different pathways available to achieve my long-term ambition of working in the industry. Exploring each course in detail, including their modules, industry links, placement opportunities, and progression routes, was particularly valuable. It allowed me to see how universities work closely with major media organisations and how these connections could support my development and employability. This task opened my eyes to the advantages of university study, especially in terms of gaining industry experience, building a professional network, and accessing industry standard facilities. As a result, university has now become a far stronger and more realistic option for me after college, especially as I have recently submitted my UCAS application. Researching apprenticeships and entry-level job roles was the most challenging aspect of this unit, largely due to the limited number of opportunities available and the difficulty in finding current roles at the time of research. Although stressful, this task became extremely valuable because it pushed me to strengthen my problem-solving skills and adapt the way I approached research. I had to dig deeper into reliable sources, especially when I realised that some positions initially appeared to be entry-level but actually required higher experience and qualifications. This meant that I had to rely on a combination of current job listings and past advertisements to gain an accurate understanding of realistic entry routes into the industry. Throughout this task, one opportunity that stood out the most was the Level 5 Journalist Apprenticeship at BBC Sports Salford. This apprenticeship aligned closely with my goals and ambitions because it offers hands-on real-world experience while learning directly from industry professionals. It also provides valuable networking opportunities which are essential for building contacts and improving employability in such a competitive field. Although the research highlighted how limited and competitive journalism apprenticeships are, it also helped me to recognise apprenticeships as an alternative pathway to university. As a result, I am now actively searching for apprenticeship vacancies and considering this pathway as a next step in my career. Planning and writing my personal statement for my UCAS application was another highly valuable stage of this unit, especially with the support of my progress tutor and the guidance provided through the UCAS website. Before completing this task, I wasn't fully aware of how essential a personal statement is in the university application process. Working through it helped me to recognise how important it is to present myself professionally, demonstrate my passion for the subject, and highlight my long-term ambitions. This experience allowed me to reflect on my achievements and my skills while learning how to express them clearly and confidently. It provided me with the opportunity to showcase my commitment to pursuing a future in journalism and has been a crucial step in progressing towards my goal of building a successful career in the industry. Crafting my CV was another highly relevant and useful task for my future progression. Although I had already begun drafting a CV before starting this unit, researching what makes a strong and professional CV allowed me to refine it more effectively. I gained a clearer understanding of what information to include and avoid, and how to structure it in a way that highlights my strengths, experience, and aspirations. Importantly, I also incorporated a link to my portfolio, which will help me to stand out during future applications and interviews by giving employers direct access to examples of my work. This task was particularly beneficial because it saved me time later on, as I now have a professional CV ready for job roles, apprenticeships, and university opportunities. Completing it also encouraged me to reflect on my grades, skills, and achievements, helping me to present myself confidently. However, it also made me aware of my current lack of industry experience, which remains a setback in such a competitive field. Recognising this gap has motivated me to actively seek opportunities that will strengthen my CV further and help me to stand out when applying for future job roles in journalism. Similarly, creating a generic cover letter was highly relevant to my future progression, especially because I initially had very little understanding of what a cover letter was or why it was needed. This task enabled me to learn the purpose of a cover letter, how it allows applicants to explain their suitability for a specific role, and present themselves in a formal and professional way. Researching examples helped me understand how to structure a strong cover letter, and I found the process surprisingly straightforward once I recognised how it can be adapted to different job descriptions. The most valuable part of this task was learning how to personalise a generic template, as this will save significant time when applying for future apprenticeships or job opportunities. I was also able to put this learning into practice by adapting my cover letter to match the job description of the Level 5 Journalist Apprenticeship at BBC Sport Cardiff. This real-world application helped me to understand how to tailor my skills and experience, which gave me a practical example that I can use as reference in the future. Overall, this task has prepared me to present myself professionally and confidently when applying for roles in the journalism industry. Towards the end of the unit, I had a professional mock interview for the job role I had researched and created application materials for, using my adapted cover letter as preparation. This experience was extremely valuable for me, as it allowed me to gain a realistic understanding of the types of questions I could be asked in the future and the level of preparation expected in a real interview. It highlighted the importance of thoroughly researching the organisation beforehand, particularly understanding its values, which helps to demonstrate genuine interest and suitability for the role. The interview also gave me the opportunity to present my skills confidently, especially in production, and reflect on how I could contribute to a team like the BBC. Receiving feedback was especially useful, as it helps me to recognise areas where I can improve further, such as refining my answers and expanding on my experience more effectively. This experience has given me a clearer understanding of how to present myself professionally, and I now feel better equipped to approach future interviews with confidence and stronger preparation. For the final task of this unit, I created my online portfolio website using Wix, which allowed me to showcase all of my production work. This will be extremely beneficial for future applications, as employees and apprenticeship providers will be able to view my projects directly, giving me a competitive advantage by providing clear evidence of my skills and interests. As part of building my portfolio, I have also begun developing my Manchester United sports blog, which has allowed me to further develop my journalistic writing. However, this task has also highlighted the importance of consistency, as regularly updating my blog will help strengthen my writing style and demonstrate my long-term commitment to journalism. I believe that having this independent project was one of the key elements that helped me to stand out during my mock interview, as it showed initiative, passion, and genuine desire to pursue a career in sports media. Moving forward, I aim to continue expanding and improving my website and blog to support my progression into the journalism industry. Throughout this unit, I have learnt a great deal about myself, particularly in relation to my personal strengths and weaknesses, with the weaknesses align with the demands of the journalism industry. One of my key strengths is my ability to work independently and remain organised, especially when meeting deadlines and managing multiple tasks at once. I have also recognised that I am confident in written communication and am developing a strong interest in storytelling through sports, which is reflected in the work I produce, such as my Manchester United blog. However, this unit has also highlighted some areas I need to improve, especially my adaptability and interpersonal skills when networking or speaking to industry professionals. I have realised that while I work well independently and have brilliant time management skills, I need to find work experience in the industry to gain first-hand knowledge and understanding, as well as pushing myself in real-world environments that require collaboration. Recognising these weaknesses has helped me to understand what I need to focus on to progress, and I now see them as opportunities for growth rather than limitations, and I must continue to develop my practical real-world skills in order to stand out within such a competitive industry. To succeed in the media industry, I recognise that I still need to further develop my creativity, adaptability, spoken communication, and problem solving skills, as these are essential qualities for a journalist working in fast paced environments. I can develop my creativity by experimenting with different storytelling techniques, such as writing opinion pieces, match reports, as well as incorporating multimedia elements into my work. Continuing to upload content to my sports blog will help me to explore varied writing styles. Similarly, I can improve my adaptability by placing myself in situations that require quick thinking and flexibility, such as live reporting, working under strict deadlines, or producing content with unexpected changes. Participating in more collaborative projects at college or taking on freelance tasks will help me to become more confident in adjusting to challenges. I can also develop my spoken communication skills through interviews within my blog content and possibly student radio or podcast projects. Practicing speaking on camera or recording short news segments will help improve my confidence. And on-screen presence. Finally, I can strengthen my problem-solving skills by independently planning content, learning how to overcome technical issues using editing software, and responding to unexpected obstacles in projects rather than relying on others for solutions. Seeking feedback and reflecting on mistakes will also support improvement. By actively working on these skills in practical real-world contexts, I will be better prepared to meet industry expectations and stand out in the competitive field of sports journalism. In the short term, the first step towards achieving my ultimate goal of working in the journalism industry is to gain relevant work experience. Securing work experience in the media sector will allow me to develop my practical skills and learn directly from professionals. This hands-on learning will make my future applications far stronger, as employers want to see evidence of genuine industry engagement, not just academic achievement. To give myself the best chance of succeeding, I will actively search for opportunities and continue building my professional online portfolio to support my applications. In addition, I need to expand my portfolio further, particularly by creating more audio and video content, so I can showcase a wider range of multimedia skills. Producing interviews, podcasts, live sport reports, and short video features will demonstrate that I can create professional, industry-standard content rather than solely focusing on written journalism. Taking these steps now will help me to stand out from other candidates and provide a stronger foundation for gaining apprenticeships or entry-level job roles in the future.